Boop. All right, so if you're curious where I've been, mainly with the new job and all that, been hard to get back on track. Then my wife got sick, so we're still working on the sick part, but we should be able to get some videos going every week now, pretty easily. Just comes down to time and how the day is going. Man, the time changed wild. I'm so tired, man. It's like 6 o'clock, but the sun's down. I want to just go to bed. But with that being said, if you really like this kind of content, check out the links in the bio down below to get it every day. I make videos and newsletters weekly. So if you really like this content, you're like, oh, I miss this guy, go check it out. So we're going to be talking about our usual stocks today, and let's start off with BBIO. You know, Bridge Biopharma. It's a small pharmacy company. You're not going to find many fundamentals on this, but it's a fine technical setup. Again, I don't love the huge sell-offs and the earnings constantly being lowered, so not great for investment reasons, but when it comes to swing trading, I like it a lot. Versus the support, super clear support at 865, 850. Anywhere in here, great support. Resistance is also super clear, 985. Very nice area to run with. Trend line 1, 2, 3, 4. Solid hits coming up to 5. You know, it's important to note we have a good 4-month gap in here that the trend line may not hold after, and that's okay, right? So that's why we have risk management built in. We also have, of course, lower lows that also line up. So again, if you're kind of a shorter term hold, you may be looking under probably closer to 820. If you like the longer term setup, looking at 850. Either way here, nice risk versus reward. You can risk 1, 2, maybe 3% at most to make hopefully 10 to 15. A good 3-to-1 turnaround here. Good risk versus reward. I like that a lot. Another thing is the POC here above. Again, it looks a lot thicker than a lot of other plays just because it's such a consolidated chart area. But this is going to be gravitational, right? The price wants to be in this channel area up here. That's where it wants to be. So you may not get a move over 1050, 1060, but you will hopefully see a move to at least 1050, 1060. 20% if possible. I love what I see. Again, shorter term, lower lows and lower highs. Let's not lie to ourselves, right? These are lower, short term channel down here. But even then, of the massive move up, the value is still going to be in this 850 area. So I like that a lot. When it comes to our indicators, let's see. A 10 cross is fine, right? I like to enter because of value for stocks like this that are certainly oversold. I mean, you're not going to give up 5% of profit when you're risking 3 for this. This is definitely a value entry. But you can see when it does cross the 10, you have some nice run-ups. When it gets under it, it does seem to consistently stay below it and above it, right? It's like right here, under the 10 the whole way, basically. Over here, over the 10 the whole way. So you want to wait for that, you could. I'm not the kind of person to wait for those kinds of plays, but right here, it's a great value. The great value, again, 33 in RSI, great. Stochastic is low, great. You can even call this it's not really a bullish divergence. It's close, but it's not. But again, negative 75, love it. And then bulls are low, bears are high. BBIO here, great value entry. I love what I see. Of course, investing-wise, not a great long-term hold looks like, but for a short swing trade, I like what I see. Next is CBAT. Again, CBAT, you may be looking for a support play closer to $1. So if you're really sold on waiting for $1, I wouldn't be mad at you. But you have great trend up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plenty of solid hits here as it comes into this nice little support area here. Support super clear as well. Bunch of plays bouncing off this $1.15, $1.14 spot. Resistance also super clear here as well. Again, lower lows, lower highs for now, but we are getting some higher lows and some nice higher highs here. So there's a chance we turn this around. Earnings, of course, ran up, coming back down. It always does, but it always seems to have a nice rebound too. Runs up because of earnings, comes down and rebounds, right? Runs up, comes down, rebounds. So same thing may happen here where it kind of has a nice second level buy-in. So I'd be looking out for that. Last thing to note with the technical setup, besides a nice trend here, the POC once again may be a bit of a hindrance, but you can see volume-wise, if I zoom down here, you know, it's in the middle of the D, so it can go any way here. If we do see it get down to 111 or so and it starts to break down, I would wait for $1 or so. But overall, it's a really nice technical setup. I like it a lot. Another penny stock too, right? What we can see here, I wouldn't go for a crossover. They're all so far away. They're all in our price target of $1.23. I'm not waiting for that. I'd rather just buy into value, which I think is just a bit lower. So that's fine here. RSI 38. It's okay. It could be lower. I think it can. Stochastic negative 65, bulls low, bears high. Overall, I think CBAT has some room to drop. I'd let it get down like 113 to really manage risk. Risk 2 or 3% to make about 6 to 9, 2 to 1, 3 to 1 kind of odds here. Again, CBAT really selling off, but starting to steady off here. I like what I see a lot. I would just give it some time to hit our buy-in spot or a crossover if it does kind of consolidate here. But 113 is the buy-in for me for CBAT. Next is CLDT. A very easy resistance play here. There's not much going on in terms of an actual setup. There's like no real patterns over here. But you can see historically, it's a very flat stock. So it's a dividend stock. It pays good dividends, right? So I think that if you want to consider the fact that this is a very flat play in general, it's very flat here. That kind of lines up well for a resistance like play we have here. Support-wise, 1250. That's fine. Resistance at 1335. That's great. We can see after hours it's a bit lower. I wanted maybe a 2 or 3% run on this before it comes down. You do have, recent higher lows. As you can see, that's super, super strict. And you're kind of making a small little ascending triangle. But you could also argue you're making a wedge up here. And wedge ups do tend to break down. And so we do see it kind of coming up here anywhere near 1330 or higher. Really good place for a low risk entry. Once again, the POC, it's gravitational. It wants to be down here kind of playing around this $12 spot. So I think it would be important to note that as we kind of get to this spot as well, this resistance, the volume gap here is massive. And so to see a move over this would be very hard to see. And once you got over it, you'd probably sputter out here. So it's a very low risk play with that considered. On your side, you also have a gap that wants to be filled right here. So you got a lot of things going for you. But for me, 1330 is where we want to probably start shorting. When it comes to our indicators, as always, a 10 EMA cross under is always a great play for a short for some form of confirmation or risk manage. As you can see, you get under it, you come down nicely. You get under it, come down nicely. Every single time we have a nice rundown, it starts with a 10 EMA cross under. So you want to wait for that, that's fine, but you may want to aim for the gray box or moonshot instead of a price target of like $12 and some change. Probably want to go for $11 and some change if you really want to use risk management for momentum short here. RSI is a bit high at 55, love it. Stochastic, let's zoom out. I don't see any staggeringly crazy looking bullish or bearish divergences. I will note that if you were to take this line here and go over, it's a flat top, but then over here, you have lower highs. So I would argue it's more of a bearish divergence than a bullish one. And bulls are about to cross under. If bulls do cross under, this will tank pretty well. CLDT, easy, simple resistance. It's a horizontal play. Nothing too crazy. Watch your SPY and Dash ES. If SPY here continues to kind of sputter out and come down, then you may see a nice red day from CLDT. Next is GoGo. Let me just double check the recording. Good. Next is GoGo. This is a really nice downtrend as well. Really great lower lows, really great lower highs. As we can see, a nice move from the earnings, and now we're kind of starting to lose volume, getting kind of choppy, and starting to kind of lose some momentum, which I love. POC, once again, wants to drag us lower. Good price target, risk versus reward here. You risk 3 or 4% to hopefully make 12 to 15 easy. And it's a really just nice lower lows, lower highs. If I did negative GoGo to show you the opposite, you would think this is a very, very bullish play, wouldn't you? You'd be like, wow, great move here, great little channel up, looking good. Maybe it's a nice little channel up. Look at that. Wow, looking really good here. But with GoGo, it's just a great channel down, coming down BEA beautifully to this area, hopefully below $11. You can probably go long at $11.50. But right here, great just resistance, super strong, lower lows, lower highs, POC pulling us down. Resistance is right here, support, about to break down. Overall, just a great shorting play. When it comes to our indicators, you're already starting to lose the 10 EMA, which is great. When you do, what happens? Crash. Oh, we lost it again. Crash. Lose it again. Crash. So as you want to wait for us to lose maybe the 200 or the 50, that's fine. 3 or 4%, nothing too bad here. You want to see a cross under for that, but if you do see a cross under the 200 or the 50, it's going to collapse hard like it does over here. You get into these, it gets real bloody, which is awesome. RSI is 50. It could be better, but it's not bad. Obvious bearish divergence. Look at this. Lower highs, higher high. That's a bearish divergence. I've never seen one. It's a fine value. That's not great, but with a bearish divergence, that's way stronger than just value. Then bulls and bears are tied. Again, it makes sense. We're starting to consolidate here. So GoGo can go either way. But again, the risk management, the lower highs, lower lows dictates you want to probably go short here. You can risk 4% to make 16, so 4 to 1 here. Really good go. I love what I see. That's our halfway point. Next is MXCT. Again, nice big old sell-off, but again, over here, just a super nice uptrend. It's very similar to BBIO, just a nice uptrend overall. One solid hit, 2, 3, 4, holding great now. Again, our POC will be the strongest support and resistance on this time frame. So there's a good chance it's going to hit this and hold and do just fine and then go back up. So again, risk management wise, you can risk 2-3% to make about 10 to 15. Love to see it. I wouldn't say it's a channel up. It's just nowhere to really kind of anchor off of, maybe this spot overall, but you've only hit the top one, so it's not really a channel up. It's not really an ascending triangle either. I mean, you could dictate from like over here, maybe it's becoming one, possibly, but overall it's just a nice uptrend, super low risk, easy support play. I mean, the support's right there. Resistance is super clear, low risk, high reward. I do love what I see. When it comes to crossovers, a 200 crossover is great, right? You get over the 200, it's right here. You can go long. You can give up your 2% of profit of the possible like 10 you can make here. Giving up 160 profit for a confirmation of a reversal is totally fine. 10's too far away from me, but the 200 looks great. You're also at a value entry right here. Anywhere in this area, $5.90 to $6 is a great value entry regardless. RSI at 37, I love it. No divergence. It all checks out, but negative 45 better than, 45 or whatever. Good value. And then bulls are low, bears are high. 1 second. Overall, it's just a really nice little small ascending triangle / uptrend here. Very low risk, high reward. I do love what I see. Next is OCSL, a really good short. It's very similar again to our last short play in a go-go with the, or not go-go, of CLDT here. Very similar setups, obviously. It's just a really nice resistance, super clear. A bunch of hits here on both sides. Earnings, it ran up too high, right? Earnings runs up, crash. Earnings runs down, comes back. Earnings goes down, comes up. Earnings plays are just hectic over the place. But it's obvious this is not sustainable, right? It's gone up 20% in the last month and a half of earnings. It's not going to hold like this. You have a nice gap here that wants to be filled. Another gap here that wants to be filled. Gaps get filled all the time on this chart. You have a gap somewhere, 95% of the time, it will be filled once again. So again, great resistance. Of course, the POC, if it breaks out, you're going to probably be seeing somewhere near 750 for you want to short again. But right here, a very easy short play. I like it a lot. Just like 95% of my short plays I talk about, a 10 EMA cross under works fine. I don't give up 1.2, 1.5. I'm going to be making 2 or 3%, but you could easily see a 5, 6, 7% move here. So, I mean, if you want to see a 10 cross under, that works fine. It's not my favorite thing ever, but you can see every time you cross under, 9 out of 10 times, especially below the 200, it gets super bloody, and that's awesome to see because, again, we cross under, we have a lot more room to run down. Hopefully you see the $6 again. RSI 66, love it. I don't see any bearish divergences, no bullish ones either, though. It's just overbought 32. Bulls high, bears low. Overall, OCSL, if tomorrow's a red day, I'd start here. Very easy short. I love what I see. Next is PVL, another penny stock. Who knew? Overall, again, it's just a very nice uptrend. Usually when you see these big moves like this, it's like that really perfect chart that you see all the time. It's like, oh, euphoria, happiness, fear. Oh, and it comes back down. It's like that. But we have a really nice uptrend here. I could argue you have a nice little baby channel up here, right? Starting from right here. Nice little channel up here. 3 solid hits on both sides. You're risking hopefully 4 or 5% at most to make about 15 for a small move. I do love what I see. Very good trend. The POC wants us to be down here, right? A lot of actions happen here. But if we were to go to the volume profile, this pillar right here is about to take this POC. And the POC does move up here, which it will do in the next, few days, hopefully. That's a huge sign of strength. Of the average price was $229, is now $329. That shows folks can buy it for $1 more and be confident. So if we do see the POC move up, that's going to be awesome. Overall, with our indicators, after hours, it's up here. Not sure it's going to hold, but if so, a 10 EMA crossover, you usually have a really good time with that. 5,200, too far away, but a 10, it's fine here. RSI 47, it's fair. It's okay. You could argue you have some bullish divergences forming here. Higher lows, lower lows. That's definitely a bullish divergence. Love to see it at -6. That's great. Bulls are low, bears are high. Again, PVL's a pretty nice little channel up. It can get pretty volatile, so be careful, but the risk is pretty low. If the day does start up here tomorrow at 3:45, I would probably avoid it just because it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't love that unless you want to play the momentum. If that's the case, if you turn that back on, you cross over the 10, you can then take your stop loss and put it like here. And that way it makes more sense. But overall, PVL, I do love what I see. And last is RMD, a really nice short here as well. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Again, super nice lower highs, recent lower lows. If we did the negative to show you the opposite, you would think this is the most bullish play of the day. I mean, look at that. It's just a picture perfect uptrend, right? So you look at just RMD, it's a picture perfect short here. You could easily risk 2% and hope to make about 10 for a full move, which is awesome ratio. The resistance is super clear. Stuff bounces off it all the time. Action stops, action starts here, and the support's super clear. I think a better support's probably $206. So it is a bit more expensive. You're not going to be out here buying like 100 shares of this and be comfortable, but 4 or 5 shares invested can make you $100 pretty quickly. Really nice short here. Overall, when it comes to our EMA lines, again, 10 cross under works great all the time. The 10 cross under works very good here. Gremlin, my buddy, don't do that. My cat's scratching the door. He wants to hang out with everybody. You're not getting in there. Hey. Stop. RSI, it's high at 58. Stochastic high at 40. I don't see any bearish divergences, no bullish. It's just, it evens out pretty well. Bulls are higher than bears. That's a good sign right there as well. Overall, RMD is a very easy short here. I do love what I see. If tomorrow's a red day, I would probably start here over the other ones. Like, I do like OCSL, GoGo, and CLDT, but this is probably the most consistent downtrend you're going to find when it comes to a good value entry for a short. Overall, great set of 8 plays here. If you enjoy it, check out the description box to get the content exclusively daily and 25 extra lessons. Have a good one, and thanks.